How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the fourth and final round of feature matches from March 27th's locals. We got Prank Kids on the right versus Earth Machines on the left, piloted by yours truly. And if you want to see more Prank Kids gameplay, check out the previous round's match, which should be also annotated up in the top right for you guys to check out. But yeah, we were both, I believe, 3-0 at this point. So right now we're playing for, I believe, what would essentially be first place, and also 30 store credit. So a little bit on the line, a little bit of bragging rights, some store credit, to pick up some goodies at a discounted price, if you will. We definitely take those. So all is on the line right now. Most people usually end up splitting in the fourth round, especially if they don't really want to play against each other, but we're all in here, winner takes all, sort of thing. And, yeah, so one thing I want to mention here specifically with this interaction is when my opponent uses Rocket Ride right now, I don't ghost spell it, and I don't ghost spell it because I don't think it's a worthwhile thing to ghost spell. It's just because I guess I forgot the ghost spell was in my hand. I got a little caught up in the fact that, like, oh boy, I'm going to have to play against Prank Kids. This is going to be pretty tough. You see the ghost spell in my hand there. Could have ghost spelled something. Definitely something, but I just, I did not. Why? I don't know why. But I did not make that mistake later on, and I will not be making that mistake at any point in the future if I ever play Prank Kids again with Ghost Spell in the main, which I don't think I'm currently maining Ghost Spell in Earth Machines. I think I am opting to main Lancia, because I think Lancia by far is like one of the most impactful hand traps of the format, especially against a lot of the higher tier decks. So he ends on a couple set back row, pretty standard, pretty solid Prank Kid turn. I believe he also has Nibiru in hand, which is very, very good against the Earth Machine deck. So as soon as I play heavy forward, he is going to activate Bow Wow Bark, which is something again I could have ghost spelled. Why didn't I ghost spell it? I couldn't tell you, right? I couldn't tell you. But either way, at this point, going into this match, all I'm thinking about, going to this turn specifically, all I'm thinking about is Battle Butler, right? It's all I'm thinking about right now. How can I, play through and expect, a Battle Butler play? Like, what's the most heads-up play I can do for a Battle Butler? Because I know it's coming. I know he's going to have two Raigekis. So I'm trying to play it as safe as I possibly can. I'm going to link into Goliath here first. I was also like a little nervous too because I'm on camera. It's the fourth and final round. I don't want to punt my feature match. I tend to punt matches, but I'm like, let's just try to make this not one of those matches. And I know I'm making excuses for myself, but I'm just trying to explain some of the questionable things I've done up to this point. So yeah, I summon Tunneler here. And the reason I summon Tunneler is because, again, I'm trying to make a more conservative play. And I want to be able to, have access to recycle things if things go south. If I'm met with a Battle Butler, but instead I'm met with a Nibiru on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th summon exactly. Now, normally him Nibiruing me there wouldn't be a problem if I would have summoned Trencher off of my Dozer, but instead I tried to make a bit more of a conservative play and summon Tunneler instead. But if, again, I would have had Trencher in the grave, I could have just banished it to summon Harvester, and then link that into Goliath, use Stormer to send off the Goliath, to reattach Goliath to search, and continue pretty much almost as if nothing happened. So, yeah, that was a pretty big misplay on my behalf. Huge misplay. Should have just stuck with the game plan and summoned out the Trencher because, lo and behold, going for Trencher, especially since River Stormer River Stormer is usually your 4th summon. For some reason, I decided to make a Goliath there, but in that case, my 5th summon being the River Stormer, if he hits me on summon, I can still recover very easily thanks to the Trencher in the grave. So he's going to Pandemonium end phase. He's doing all sorts of things here. I just set one pass, really hoping that maybe I'll get an extra turn. My token really has no stats at this point. It's just 2,500 800, I believe that's River Stormer stats, plus his dropsies. So it really doesn't have very impressive stats whatsoever, my Nibiru token. I think my set is an Ice Dragon's Prison. That is why I checked to see his graveyard. I'm like, does he have any more Aquas in grave? But at this point, I don't believe that he did. He has Parallel Exceed on top of Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. Just literally going off at this point. Not only is he getting these searches, getting summons off Prank Kids, but he's also resolving Parallel Exceed, which is huge. And at this point, I know the game is over for me, so I'm just letting him play as much as possible to see as much of his engine as possible. I see the Anaconda, so I'm just going to go ahead and scoop, and we're going to head into game 2. Hey guys, just wanted to let you all know that Imperium Duelist has come out with some brand new products. The first being their Fire Attribute deck box, following up the Dark Attribute deck box they did a few months back. Really, really nice interior color as well. They also just came out with a brand new 9-pocket binder, looking pretty slick, themed after the spell Magic Formula. Got some nice white pages there, and some nice artwork on the front and back of the binder with the zipper as well. Actually pretty handy feature. And last but not least, my playmat Blazing Permafrost is still available. It's a limited supply of these, and once they're gone, they are gone. So go ahead and grab one now if you haven't. And you can get all this stuff for 10% off using my discount code WinterKill10 off at checkout. And of course, support the channel in the process. And of course, if you guys find yourself shopping on either TCG Player or Drawface.com, please do not forget to use the affiliate links I have in the descriptions of all my videos to their sites, respectively. If you guys shop and check out using those links, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel, and it does help out greatly. So obviously here in Game 2, I am going to be going first after that nightmare of a turn we had in Game 1 trying to play through that board. Nibiru, Battle Butler, just probably wasn't happening regardless of the mistakes that I made. So I start with Cruncher and I reveal 3 Harvester. Now to a lot of Earth Machine players, that's probably a pretty good tell as to what type of combo I'm going for and what I already have in hand. So I'll be adding the Harvester, pitching Fortress and Harvester, summon back Fortress, linking both Cruncher and Fortress into Ballista to add Box. Box adds Trencher. Now pitching Box and Trencher to summon back Fortress, since that, that's level 9. And the Trencher is going to set up the Harvester, summon that back to the board, and search me Brutal Dozer. And now from this point, this is, the rank 9 combo, right? That most Earth Machine players are familiar with. I think is the strongest opening that the deck currently has. Opening redeployment plus a level 10 is really, really strong. So I summon Enter Blathnir, and my opponent is lucky enough to have the Nibiru again, which is not such a huge deal here. And the reason it's not a huge deal is because I can use Fortress. Fortress being the saving grace for Earth Machines. If you get hit with Nibiru, I find Nibiru is really one of the most impactful hand traps against Earth Machine. Why? Because it's completely removing the field of Earth Machine monsters, and it shuts off a lot of things. Brutal Dozer, Bullet, it can shut off Citadel as well, and Overdrive because you don't have any Earth Machines on board. And Fortress is an incredible card that lets you recover and play through a card like Nibiru. As you see, I'm pretty much still doing the full combo here. I'm just not getting the hand rip that I would have gotten off Enter Blathnir, and that's why I think playing 2 Fortress is really, really good. If you're not going to go for the 2 Daracrane routes or even 3 Daracrane route, I would at least suggest you guys try the double Fortress. It will come up, and a lot of times will help you play through Nibiru. It just will. It's really an incredible card. And you'll see we're resolving Tunneler here, as we normally do in this combo, to pick up 2 more cards. Pot of Avarice, if you will, for Earth Machines, banishing itself and targeting 5 Earth Machines in the grave as cost, shuffling them into the deck to draw 2. And we find ourselves what looks to be 2 trap cards here, which is really, really strong. Now, big misplay alert happens here. So I use Knuckle. My opponent chains Call By, targeting my Knuckle target, which is Bullet. Now, I have a Go spell in hand. Why didn't I use it? I don't know. I guess I was too caught up in looking to see what I had in my field to stop it. Didn't take a second to look in my hand to see that there was a go spell that could have stopped the Call by the Grave, because what I was trying to do was to use Knuckle to get Bull out, to set up Overdrive, to clear the normal summon. That's all I was trying to do, and I failed in doing so, and seemingly paying the cost for it now. As he goes into Bow Wow, resolves another Prank Kid here. I believe it's the fans. He's going to dump Plan to the Grave to summon out a copy of Dropsies. Now, immediately after that, Call by the Grave moment happened, I checked my hand to notice there was a go spell, and I was like, I literally, in that split second moment, I was like, I cannot believe I did that. I cannot believe that I actually just let that Call by the Grave go through, because, if the Citadel would have gone off, clearing his field with a normal summon, I honestly don't think he would have had a follow-up. I don't know. Maybe he would have, but usually clearing the normal summon is pretty strong. Now, my opponent is going to attempt to activate Rocket Ride here, which I do realize is something that I can bell, and I do bell it, but there's a mistake that happens on behalf of, I guess, both me and my opponent. Rocket Ride does tribute itself as cost, so he technically should have tributed the Rocket Ride to the Grave, as it gets belled, but that didn't happen. So he's able to get into a Link 2 here of a Bow Wow. That's on both of us. I didn't realize that it attributed for cost. Again, I'm not super familiar with the Prank Kids. I'm definitely getting a lot better with learning what exactly these cards do. But as you can see, the Go spell proving to be pretty effective here. He's not really doing too much else. End phase is going to activate Pranks, shuffle back 3 Prank Kids cards to draw 1, and he's going to pass it back over to me. Luckily, I did not get OTK'd, which is really, really good. I think I draw Ancient Gearbox for turn. I recycled it last turn, and now just drawing into it for turn here, which is really just splendid. So I'm going to start my turn with using Knuckle to send that Overdrive from my field that I never got to use last turn to recycle 3, one of them being the Banished Bullet alongside a Trencher and a Tunneler. So this is one of those instances where the graveyard effect of Knuckle comes in huge. Sometimes you're sending off extra heavy forwards you don't need, or a set Overdrive you didn't get to use, because I find myself the most important effect of Overdrive is not necessarily being able to summon the Citadel, but the recycling of your Earth Machines that are in your grave or banished, because that's how you keep the whole engine going turn after turn after turn. Now, linking into Goliath, getting Stormer back out of the grave, right? Once we make Stormer once, never need to make it again. So right now, I'm kind of contemplating, like, do I have all the materials in play to be able to OTK? And the answer is definitely no, since I've already used Knuckle. If I wouldn't have had used Knuckle, probably. If my bullet didn't get hit with Call by the Grave the previous turn, probably. But at this point, an OTK is probably not going to be possible. For those that don't know, the OTK that Earth Machines typically does is done via Gustav Max and Juggernaut Lieb, and that requires, very specific setup, getting a rank 10 on field, both your Derek Crane and your Bullet, or your Citadel, I guess. But in this case, I'm just trying to play crowd control, really. I'm trying to clear what he has left on his field and set up enough interruptions and kind of a really control-y, grindy field to kind of play it out a little bit more, grind it out a little bit more, because I know the deck is definitely capable of doing that. Play the resource game and, try in a future turn to be able to pull off that OTK. So I was going to link both the Goliath into the Knuckle, but first I realized I probably should get the Tunneler on field to do a massive recycle of 5. Again, we're just slowly digging deeper into the deck every time we resolve that Tunneler, because we're putting a majority of the cards back into our extra deck and not into the main deck. So it does allow us to actually dig deeper into the deck each time we resolve that Tunneler. Now using Harvester to target Fortress to make them both gain the levels of each other, so 9 total. Now going into Earth Slicer, not going into the Enter Blast in here, obviously, because it's in the grave already, but we are locked into Earth Machines since we did use Brutal Dozer. And I'm finding specifically that sometimes in turn 3 and beyond that I don't usually like to resolve Dozer if I don't have to, because typically you're using Dozer at turn 1 to get to Riverstormer, but you don't need to make a rank 5, turns 3 because you already have Stormer and Grave. So you just really need to get any Infinitrack on board, preferably Harvester, and then turn it into Goliath to get Stormer. But I use the Earth Slicer, the Pizza Slicer to clear 2, bring back Fortress, swing in with as much damage as I possibly can. I get him down to 19, and set a few back row here, which is exactly what I want to do, because that's obviously where the deck does put up quite a bit of its interruption, is in the back row and in the form of hand traps, Ice Dragon's Prison, Droplet, Lancia in the main, Drone Lock, Ash Blossom, whatever you want to play. It does have quite a bit of its interruption in the form of traps and hand traps. So my opponent starts his turn with Terraforming, gets Mystic Mine, so I'm like, all right, I'm immediately going to tag my Knuckle out because I would at least to get Bullet on field and maybe get access to Citadel before he slaps the Mystic Mine down. I was expecting the Mystic Mine frame 1 as soon as he added it to the hand, and he didn't end up doing that. He actually ends up just normal summoning the Lampseas, so I'm actually going to use the Overdrive, targeting the Bullet, summoning out Citadel, targeting the Fortress, destroying everything on his field 2,500 or under. Now he's going to go ahead and fire off Instant Fusion, dropping him very, very low here, going for Rocket Ride. And then on that summon of Rocket Ride, I'm thinking I might have a possible response. I think I actually make a pretty cool play here with a trap card called EMR, which is a card I'm not currently playing anymore because reasons, but does come in pretty handy here. I tribute off the Citadel and blow up my own Earth Slicer and 2 of his cards. That way I can bring back Citadel, since an Earth Machine monster I control was destroyed, and Earth Slicer really not doing too much on the field right now and is a little bit more useful in the graveyard. Anyways, my opponent plays Mystic Mine as a bit of a last resort and ends his turn. I start my turn with an Overdrive to recycle both Trencher, Tunneler, and a Fortress to the grave. And at this point, I do have outs in my deck to the Mystic Mine in the form of 1 EMR. I was only playing 2 EMR at this point because I was playing Trap Trick, and I decided to cut Trap Trick since I didn't really like it too much. Drawing multiple Trap Trick was really bad, and especially with some of the 2-of traps I was playing, that sometimes the Trap Trick would be dead for certain traps. And it just made you kind of blow through your overdrives too fast. Yes, it was great to see them, but losing one to a Trap Trick sometimes was less than nice, because your odds of seeing another overdrive, since you only have one in the deck a bit later on, are a lot lower. But if I was playing way more traps, I probably would. But I just found that drawing multiple Trap Trick, it was just not that great, and drawing a Trap Trick with lots of other traps was just kind of awkward as well. Depending on specifically what you were playing against. Yeah, so now we're in a little bit of a back and forth top deck war. He's trying to get a strong enough play to, clear his own Mystic Mine and play underneath it perhaps. And I'm just trying to find the out. He normals Roxy's, and I go ahead and use Ice Dragon's Prison here. He does luckily have a rock type in his grave in the form of Nibiru. So I banish his Nibiru, banish his Roxy's, and really not too sure as to what he can do after this. He does have Dark Magician in hand. Passes, I draw, I pass it back to him. He passes, I set one, pass it back to him. Now I did draw a Trap Trick, so I'm like, all right, I have the out to his Mystic Mine and to his 2 other back row too. But I'm like, wait, I only play 2 EMR, and I can't Trap Trick for just 1 EMR. So and I think my Trap Trick was completely dead at this point, because I have 2 overdrives there. I've already used an Ice Dragon's Prison and EMR, so I literally don't have a way to resolve Trap Trick at this point. Really not that cool, but what are you gonna do, right? So I just have to pass it back to him. He passes it back to me, and I have to discard in the end phase, pass it back to him. Really curious to see what his game plan is here. He goes ahead and activates Red Eyes Fusion. Really wasn't too excited to see him activate that. But then I realized, then I noticed he was going to activate Dragoon's Effect to destroy my Citadel, which I was like, for a second, contemplating maybe playing around and not letting him do that. But I was like, wait, I'll just let him do that. Because now he controls more monsters than I do. And his Dragoon can't activate. So I was like, I'll just go ahead and Ice Dragon's Prison here. We'll banish the Dark Magician and banish Dragoon. My opponent accidentally banishes the Red Eyes there, but doesn't really make too big of a difference anyways. Yeah, and then on my turn, after the Mystic Mine leaves and his end phase, I'm able to just pop off, go for Harvester, go for Daracrane as the chain block as well. And right now I'm just trying to secure the OTK. He's got 900 life points left, so I don't really need to do the OTK. I just need to get a big body on field, and I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible because time is getting a bit low at this point since this game has been gone kind of long. So time is kind of running out here. The River Stormer does get Ash, but I don't really care too much because I do have the Heavy Forward that grabs me Tunneler. Then I'm thinking on what I want to do here. I'm just trying to either get Citadel back out or try to use Fortress. He does have Nibiru there when I bring back Earth Slicer, which is whatever. But I do have a Fortress. Again, Fortress coming in so incredibly clutch against Nibiru. Tributing Fortress for Tunneler, linking for Goliath just to get the Tunneler in the grave, and there's Torrential Tribute. And what Torrential Tribute's going to do is allow me to get Citadel back now. I think I got our life points mixed up here. I thought I was at 900 and he was at 35. So I technically have game with just the Citadel, but I bring the Fortress back again just to really have game, I guess. But yeah, I somehow make a huge comeback after there. After that game, with even the misplay I had with a Call by the Grave, in game 2 at the very start, I still can't believe I didn't bell that Call by, but maybe it was for the better that I didn't. Who knows? Now here in game 3, he does have Parallel Exceed, which I was a little worried about because I didn't know if he was playing like Trap Tricks or Flezzy or something to turn off like future hand traps with Gravedigger's Trap Hole. So I ashed the Parallel Exceed here, not knowing if there would really be a better point to use Ash. I know hitting the Doodle Doo can be pretty good because it can stop them from getting to Pandemonium. But I decide maybe hitting the Parallel Exceed might be a little higher impact. So he's going to actually activate Polymerization, which I don't think is standard for a lot of Prank Kids lists. But he is using it here to get into Rocket Ride, triggering one of his Prank Kids, summoning out Roxy's from the deck, and now he's going to activate that Rocket Ride again, like he did in game 2, and I'm actually going to bell it here. So I'm actually, using bell like I should be. And I also ask him if it tributes for cost, and, lo and behold, it does. So actually playing that interaction out correctly here in game 3, third time is a charm, I guess. Now my opponent is left with a lot less material here, and he's just going to link into Predaplant Verte Anaconda, pay 2,000, which is going to actually put his life points below mine, which is a little bit of a questionable play, since time is going to be called in about 2 minutes or so. So, I don't know why he did this. I guess it's because it might have just been better than just leaving the 2 random monsters that he had on his field there instead of, might as well just link him into something. I have Dark Ruler, which again, I was perfectly fine with playing at this point because I realized the situation that I was in. I'm up 500 life points, and I'm just going to do my combo at a normal speed, not slow playing. I was actually trying to play faster here because I wanted to try to at least get to the battle phase. Not that it really would have mattered, but, try to, make a field to the point where, if there wasn't time, it wouldn't have mattered regardless. So that's why I was playing fast. I wanted to, try to get to that field before the timer had run out. And I end up getting to enter Blathnir, which is my out to the Dragoon, non-targeting banishment. I actually contemplated here. I was like, do I go for the card in his hand? But I just go for the Dragoon. Go for Dozer here. That's resolving, grabbing Tunneler. We're going to go for River Stormer, which I actually don't know if I don't know how much farther I go past this because I think the time is really close to running out. Adding Bullet here. Then linking the Stormer into Goliath. See, I'm playing a little fast here. Then using Fortress, pitching off the Bullet, and then linking Stormer into Goliath, and at this point the timer is called as I pick up the cards, and I win by 500 life points because my opponent decided to use Predaplant Verte Anaconda at the very bitter end. So I will take that match 2-1 and actually ended up getting first place. I've already uploaded the first place deck profile on the channel, so if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do so. I'll leave a link in the top right or down in the description. So yeah, if you guys want to see that video and the list that I played and the matchups that I had, go check that profile out because it's already up. But yeah, I mean, again, if you're in that situation, you get hit with an Ash, you get hit with a Bell, and that's all you're left with at the end of your turn as a Prankets player. I really don't know what you do. I don't think making Vert and so close to time is the correct play. Maybe there's another link. I don't know, but a bit of an unfortunate end for our Prankets player there. But we take the win 2-1. Really had to pull that one back with some of the questionable plays that I had. Just not knowledgeable in that matchup, but definitely more so now because of that specific match. I'll definitely remember to be able to use Ghost Spell more against Prankids and the certain areas to stop them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you did, share it with a friend, drop a comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe if you haven't already. So we can hit 20,000 subscribers. I got a pretty big giveaway planned for that. Very excited to hit that incredible milestone. So subscribe if you haven't. And I hope you guys are having a good day. As always, Winter Kills signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one, in the next batch of feature matches. And of course, a special shout out goes to all of the members supporting this channel, especially our Divine level channel members. And they are Zors, Cadillacs84, and Remtrox H. Thank you guys so much for your continued and very generous support of the channel.